and welcome to episode 5 of Under the Olive Tree. My name's Jem. I'm a knitting designer, yarn dyer and owner of undertheolivetreeknits.com, which is a knitting website where you can find knitting patterns, hand-dyed yarns, tutorials, lots more. So if you haven't already, do be sure to go and check it out. It's www.undertheolivetreeknits.com. So it's been a few weeks since the last episode. Life kind of took over. It's been particularly busy in the run up to Christmas. And then last week I had a bit of a chest infection, so I lost my voice. And as you can probably hear, still a little bit croaky, but yeah, feeling a lot better than I did this time last week. And yeah, so I hope you've been keeping well and that you're getting organised in the run up to Christmas, if you celebrate Christmas. I know quite a lot of people have been doing a lot of holiday crafting, so making gifts for people or making ornaments or decorations. And my original plan for this episode was to show you some quick knits, some quick knit patterns that you could make in the next couple of weeks in the run up to Christmas, just some ornaments and yeah, in quick patterns. However, something very exciting happened on Monday, which doesn't happen a lot here in the UK. Well, not where we live in the UK anyway. But on Monday morning, opened the curtains and we had snow, which was, yeah, really exciting because, like I say, it's very rare that we actually get any. We're a little bit further down south. So, yeah, very rare for us to actually have a blanket of snow. I mean, it wasn't much, to be fair. It was about an inch, but it was still enough for me to think, okay, I'm going to do some yarn dyeing in the snow. So I'm going to do some snow dyeing. So all plans for the episode changed, and I thought actually it could be quite fun to do an episode where I show you what I did with the snow dyeing. So I have tried snow dyeing before, and that was about 5 years ago. So that just goes to show you how rare it is that we actually have enough snow to be able to do anything with. And yeah, I didn't have this channel then. I think I put it on a blog, which I no longer have. But yeah, so I thought I'd document the whole thing, and you can kind of virtually join me as I do some snow dyeing. So I decided to do 2 skeins of sock yarn, so 100 gram skeins of 75% superwash merino and 25% nylon. 2 of those, I popped them into soak for a couple of hours and then got busy with the snow and the dyes. So I took a lot of videos, which I'm going to put together for you now so you can kind of see what I got up to, and I will catch you again afterwards. Okay, so I've just got my 2 trays here. I'm dyeing up some 4-ply sock yarn. So I've had the yarn in to soak. So I've just wrung the yarn out and placed it in the trays. So I'm going to do 2 skeins, and the next step is to cover these 2 yarns with lots of snow. So let's go. Right, so here we go. I've got the 2 trays of yarn covered in snow. So the next thing to do is go and pick out some dye colours. Okay, so I've just been into the dye box and picked out 5 colours for the first skein. So for that one, I'm going to go for predominantly brights. So we've got bright pink, darker pink, a bright yellow, bright green, and then we've got a navy, which should kind of tone the colours down a little bit and also mix with the yellows to make greens and the pinks to make purples. So hopefully they will work quite nicely together. And then for the second one, I thought it might be quite fun to do kind of like a blind colour pick. So I just put my hand in the box and I've picked out 5 different colours at random. So we've got a kind of green, a dark blue purple, a reddy brown colour, sandstone colour, and then a dark green, a a darker kind of bluey green. So no idea how these colours are going to work together, but let's put them on and see what happens. Okay, so I'm doing this outside because I do want the snow to stay as cold as possible. It's actually started snowing again a little bit now, actually. A little light dusting, which is nice. So I'm going to start with the one where I picked the colours. So I've got the bright colours here. I'm going to use my smaller spoon, so I'm going to use a pinch of each colour and just kind of throw it on the snow. So I'm going to start with the lightest colour first, which is the bright yellow. So I just get a pinch of that, and I'm just going to tap that all over the snow like that. Okay, I'm going to go in with, let's go in with the green next. Again, tap that on. And let's go with the light pink. Kind of darker pink. Actually, that looks quite nice as it is, doesn't it? Do I want to put the darker colour on? Yeah, I'm going to do it. Maybe start with a little less and just see how that goes. Actually, yeah, that's quite nice. Put some more on. Oops, big clump there. I think I'm going to leave it there and see what those colours do. But what I've already noticed, if I take this down, is you can see where I put the green in, that dye colour has broken out into speckles of blue. So the way that the dye powders are mixed, sometimes the greens will have speckles of blue in it. So if you don't mix the dye properly, you can end up with blue speckles on your green yarn. But for things like this, that's actually quite interesting because you end up with kind of random speckles of colour that maybe you weren't quite expecting. So yeah, let's have a look. That's the first one done. So I'm going to leave that to put that to one side now, and then we'll do the next one. So now we're going to go in with the second colour. I'm going to do this one the same way. You could, if you wanted to, do stripes of colour, circles of colour. You could kind of be a bit more organised with your colour placement if you want to, but I'm feeling kind of random today, so I'm just going to do this one the same way, just sprinkling. Let's put a couple of spoons of the yellow on, because yellow is a good colour for bringing everything together. But this yellow, what's this one, a sandstone, so this is more of kind of a orangey browny yellow rather than the bright yellow that we used in the first one, so I'm going to put quite a bit of that on. Then let's go for green again. So again, we've got yellows and greens, but very different shades of both. This one's going to be a bit more of a moody colourway, I think. Let's pop a couple of those on. Let's go in with a darker green. Ooh, that is dark. Nice. Okay, I think just one of those will be enough. Let's go in with the purple. And the red. Nice, okay. I think I'm happy with that.
I'm just going to put a little bit more dark green on actually. Just tap that. Yeah, that's looking good. Let's have a look. Let's have a close up. So you can see all those colours in there. Right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take them indoors and just set up a time lapse so we can see this as the snow melts. We can see how the colour kind of lands on the yarn. So see you in a sec. So these are the trays of yarn. You can already see that they look completely different to when we last left them. The dyes have started to spread across the snow, and this one in particular, it looks really colourful. This one is looking quite interesting because these are colours that I wouldn't usually put together, so I'm interested to see how they work as a colourway. But the idea is that as the snow melts, the dyes will seep through and transfer onto the yarn and hopefully create some interesting colourways. So I'm going to set up a time lapse because I thought that might be quite interesting to watch as the snow melts and as the dyes kind of work their way through. It'll probably take a few hours for the snow to melt, so let's revisit it a little bit later and see how they look then. But before I do the time lapse, I'm really interested in how these colours will spread, and look how different they look now. The snow's starting to melt to when they were outside. They're really coming together, especially with this one, look. How cool is that? Right, let's do a time lapse. Just had to stop the time lapse quickly just to show you how cool it looks. They're like little crystals of colour as the snow's melting. Look at that. That's that one. Hi, Pete. And then this one. How cool is that? Oh, that colour. Anyway, back to the time lapse. Oh my God, I cannot draw myself away from these. Just standing here watching them. But look, we've got some yarn peeking through here along the edge. Can you see that? And interestingly, the snow seems to be melting around the edges quite quickly. There must be some kind of science to that. I don't know what, but definitely it seems to be melting around the edges. Not a sign of yarn on that one yet. But yeah, definitely some over here. And honestly, I can't look away. I'm literally just standing here watching the snow melt and really resisting the urge to go and get a hairdryer. But yeah, oh, it's so cool. Right, back to the time lapse. Even Colin Robertson's come to check out the action now and watch the snow melt. Yeah, it's coming along quite nicely. I got quite excited here because I thought I could see some yarn coming through, but it's not, it's just the hook. But yeah, the edges seem to be melting quite quickly. No sign of any yarn with this one yet, but over here you can see some yarn starting to peek through, a little bit more than last time, but yeah, it's taken a while, so yeah, me and Colin will keep an eye on it, won't we? Yeah, anyway, back to the time lapse. Oops, just had a little mishap. The phone fell from its stand and plummeted straight into this one. So we've now got a bit of a ravine going on in the snow. But yeah, I'll leave that as it is and yeah, see what happens. Can't see any yarn through it yet, but that might be quite a nice little window at some point to see how it's going. In terms of time, actually, they've been in for just over an hour. So yeah, not much has happened in that hour, to be honest. We've only got this tiny bit of yarn in the top corner here showing. Again, nothing with this one yet. But yeah, now I'm going to put the phone back and hopefully it won't fall off this time. Fingers crossed. Okay, so we've got a couple of other areas of yarn peeking through now with this one. So you can see here some yarn coming through with purples, kind of a browny colour, I guess, or dark red. Where's it gone? There it is. So yeah, keep an eye on that. And then over here we've got some more yarn peeking through. Again, that's come up with some kind of darker colours. And still over here, so keeping an eye on those. Let's see how they develop. With this one, there's still not much happening, but there is a little, you can kind of see some yarn through this little gap in the corner here. Can't really tell what colours that's going to be yet, but yeah, it's starting to melt and it's starting to get through to the yarn, so that's good. But yeah, I think that's all that's happening with that one at the moment. So yeah, let's keep going. So it's now been over 2 hours and still very slow on this one. You can see a little bit more of the yarn in this corner here. Looks like some darker colours at the bottom and some kind of reddy purples towards the top, but we've still got all that kind of yellowy green colour to filter through. So yeah, still much. Oh, is there some in the corner? Oh, yeah, there's some in the corner here as well, look. Kind of blues and reds by the looks of it. Oh, that's exciting. But yeah, this one is a little bit slow. We can just see a little peak at the bottom there. That might be the hook yarn, actually. But anyway, so that's how that one's doing. This one is coming along a little bit quicker, so we've now got some more yarn coming through here with some blues, this one with some purples and pinks, and then at the top here we've got some darker colours coming through, and again that corner is peeking through as well. So I've been doing some yarn dyeing today, so I've got the steamer on here now, so hopefully that will generate a little bit more heat, which might make the snow melt a little bit quicker. We shall see. But in the meantime, yeah, we're 2 hours in, and this is what they're looking like so far. So things are starting to really heat up now, quite literally. So here you can see the yarn starting to come through. At the bottom here is melting quite quickly now. So yeah, got yarn coming through at the bottom, and then also along the top here, it's starting to peek through. So yeah, things starting to happen. You also got the colour pooling at the bottom here as well, where it's seeped through. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with that, whether the yarn will soak that up at the end or whether it will just stay there. I don't know. Anyway, that's that one. And this one, again, lots happening. Much more yarn starting to come through here. You've got a big crack here. I think that's just following the path of the yarn. And again, colours coming through here with some pink pooling at the bottom there. Again, I'm not sure if that's going to get soaked up or whether that's just going to stay there, but yeah, lots of colours starting to come through now, which is really exciting. So yeah, we are approaching the 3 hour mark, so it's taking a little bit longer than I anticipated, but yeah, let's keep going. Look at all these colours coming through. This is going to be beautiful. Don't think we've got that much longer to go. There's only a little thin layer of snow left on top of this one, and it is melting quite rapidly. I think it's because I've got the steamer on, so that's definitely helped it along a little bit. But yeah, look at that. And then this one, still coming on a little bit slower than the other one, but definite sections of yarn starting to come through now. So this is a lot more darker, kind of intense colours with this one, and still got quite a bit of snow left to melt on this one, but again it is speeding up a little bit, so hopefully it won't be too much longer before we can see what the yarns really look like. Okay, we're now 4 hours in, and I think we're nearly there. Just got this tiny little bit of snow left on this colour to melt, but it is melting a lot quicker now. Maybe it's because there's less of it. It does seem to have sped up, which is good. But look at all these colours. That's going to be gorgeous. And then this one as well, as usual, a little bit slower, but as I say, is picking up a little bit. Again, these colours are really much darker in this colourway, but you've still got some lovely yellows, flashes of purples and reds coming through, lovely blues here. Look at those pinks and yellows in that section. Again, really excited about this one. Can't wait to see what it's going to look like when it's done. So yeah, hopefully it won't be too much longer. Daylight is failing already. It's about 3:15, so it's going to get dark soon. So I'd like to be able to kind of look at these in the daylight, but if not, I'll have to show you in the morning. But yeah, let's just hopefully put it back on for the last stint. And 5 hours later, and the snow has completely melted on this colourway. You can see all the colours going on in there. So it's a lot darker than I was anticipating, considering the colours that I chose were, well, 4 of them were quite light, and then I had that navy. And obviously that navy has really taken hold and made all the other colours a lot darker, but there's still some really lovely colours going on in here. Little speckles there of yellows and blues and all sorts going on. So I'm really excited to see how that's going to look once it's steamed and dried. I think that's going to be absolutely beautiful. So this one, still a tiny little bit of snow left to melt on there, but you can see again lots of little speckles of colour. But overall, again, this has come out really dark. So there were a couple more darker colours within this one, so that might be why. But again, it's a lot darker than I thought it might come out. But yeah, let's see. So I'm just going to wait for this one to completely finish now, and then I will pop them in the steamer and hang them out to dry, and then we can take a look at them. So that's where I left the yarns yesterday, and because it was dark by the time the snow completely melted, I didn't steam them until this morning. But last night I was thinking about it, and I thought, actually, you know what, it could be quite interesting to do the same colourways, but as speckles directly on the yarn rather than have them go through the snow, just to kind of see what the difference is. So this morning I did just that. So I took another 2 skeins of sock yarn, pre-soaked them and arranged them in the trays the same way that I had with the snow dyed yarns. But instead of putting the speckles on the snow, I put them directly on the yarn. So I'll show you how that went. So I'm just going to do exactly the same as I did yesterday. The yarn's laid out in the same way as it was under the snow, and I'm going to use the same colours that I used yesterday as well, and just sprinkle them on, do a pinch of each, sprinkle them on, and let's see how it comes out with the without the snow, with the same colours but without the snow. That's the yellow. Let's go for the greeny colour and just kind of tap the colours on. Let's go for that one's got the lighter, more neon pink, and then this one is the darker pink. And then we're just going to finish off with some of that navy blue. that's the first one. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put that to one side, leave it for about 5 minutes or so for the dyes to soak into the yarn. And in the meantime, we shall do the next one. Just put the yarn. Okay, so again, I'm using the same colours as I used yesterday. I did have slightly different quantities from the first one. So with this one, I think I put 3 lots of yellow, or this kind of browny yellow colour on first. So let's do the same again. So 1, 2, 3. Then I'm going to go in with the lighter of the greens. Again, I think I put a couple of these on yesterday, so let's do the same again with this one. That's 1. 2 of those. Then we had the darker green, just 1 of those. Oops, let's tap that on. I actually did 2 dark greens, didn't I? Because I did 1 at the end. So I'll do another one of those at the end, just to keep it consistent. But in the meantime, let's put some red on. And then some purple. And then, as I did yesterday, I'm just going to put another spoon of the dark green colour on. Right, so I'm going to put that to one side for a little bit, just let those colours soak in, and we'll see how they look in about 5 to 10 minutes or so. So I've just left the sprinkles to soak in for about 10 minutes, and you can see kind of how it looks. It's really seriously speckly. Look at those speckles. That's going to be fabulous. So that's that one. And then this one, again, lots and lots of lovely speckles going on with this colourway. That's the 2 of them together. So I'm just going to pop those in the steamer, and then we can compare those to the ones that we snow dyed yesterday.
So there you go, 4 skeins all dyed up, 2 snow dyed and 2 speckled using the same colourways. So it'll be interesting to see once they're fully dry how they compare to each other. They have been steamed, they are drying as we speak, and I am going to wait until the next episode to show you how they came out, just because I want them to be completely dry so you can really see all the different colours. So do tune in again next week, where I'll show you the outcome of the snow dyeing and the speckles. And in the meantime, have a brilliant rest of the week, a lovely weekend, and I will catch you again very soon. Take care. Bye bye.